Hello, welcome back. If you can't tell, I'm the Hot Mess Express today. Today has been just a disorganized mess and I feel crazy about it, but that's not why you're here. Let's get into why you're here today, and that is to talk about the current events going on in the financial world in America and how and if they affect you, and if you need to know more about them in order to make good financial decisions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the topic. I'm going to say what it is, why it's important, and maybe how you can leverage it if there is a way to leverage it towards your favor. Because wealthy people always think of ways they can use the current rules and the current situations to their advantage. And I think it's a good habit to be in. So the first one is the big one that we all know, we all hate. It is the coronavirus. And you and I both know that it has affected this world in ways that we could never have imagined. But it is here, and while it is here, there are some things that we need to know about it. Why is this important to your financial health? Well, the coronavirus has changed the way people work. Some people lost their jobs. Some people have changed careers. Some people have started working from home, and that is becoming more and more commonplace for people to permanently have work from home positions because companies are capable of doing this now. And I think that is very important. Now is a great time to change careers if you were in a career you hated, because there is all kinds of opportunity out there. As far as coronavirus was concerned in upsetting industries. There's a labor shortage, which means that workers are in high demand in some areas, in other areas not so much. But I feel like if you were looking for a change, now's a good time. If you could not leave your house before and that was a big factor, now's a good time to up your cash flow if you have that inclination and still be able to work from home. So that's a couple ways you can use that to your advantage. By the way, this video will probably be short and sweet because, like I said, I'm disorganized today and my brain's just not there for it. So moving on. The next couple points have to do with the housing market. And I think that is important because it is something that affects us all. We all live somewhere, right? And if you're looking to become wealthy, one of those ways is buy the housing market and to buy properties and invest in those. So you probably even have heard, if you're not even in the housing market, that housing prices have gone up over the past couple years, way up. Initially in 2020, when everybody stayed home for the first lockdown, housing prices or housing demand went way down. Nobody was buying houses at that time. We were all stuck in the houses that we had. But ever since then, housing has skyrocketed. We bought our house in October 20 of 2018 for, we took out a $155,000 loan, and we recently refinanced and appraised our house at $215,000. And that to me is amazing, just by sleeping in our beds at night, we have gained that much in money that is available to us. So why is this important? Like I said, in our case, we earned a lot of equity over the last couple of years, and how can you leverage that? Well, look up my video on how we took out a cash out refinance to pay off $23,000 worth of our car loan. And it paid off our car loan, and it freed up over $600 in cash between the car payment that we now don't have to make and the savings in our mortgage payment every month. So that's $640 specifically that we will be extra in cash flow than we were the last couple years. And I'm super excited about that. Go watch the video. I talked all about the strategy and the thought process behind that. But know that that is something you could do if the circumstances are right for you. Now, make that decision wisely. Don't overextend yourself, but know that. So housing prices have gone up. Why is that important? Well, if you take out the cash out refinance, like we did, it could be a big benefit to you. Why is it important if you are someone who is looking to buy a house? Well, your house might cost a little bit more right now. But the other part of that is that interest rates are really low, historically low. They have never been low than at the time of the pandemic, and right now they're still at a historic low. So if you would like to move, and now is the time for your family to move, and you want to move despite the housing prices, it's just time for you, then you can get that money at a very, very low interest rate. And that means that you can afford more house for the same payment every month. But I would say be financially smart with that. Don't overextend yourself just because you can afford more house with less payment. Just keep that in mind with your particular situation, and know that could be a factor. And interest rates being low means that there is more money in circulation right now. And that's all that you need to know about that, really. And that's how you can use it to your advantage. Refinances to get more money in your pocket. You can get debt at a historically low rate, which means if you are looking to buy a house, you can afford more house. Just know that the lending requirements are pretty strict still. I mean, we really had to make our refinance work because I have such a high debt to income ratio. That's something you would want to talk to your lender about and get a good lender that will work for you. And just know that your financial education is important in this case, because if you don't know your numbers, the lender will not tell you that you are overextending yourself. You have to know where that limit is. The last piece of current events that's going on that I want to talk about today is inflation. That's the other one. The other I word. Inflation. And we all know that things cost a little bit more today than they used to. We know that we're getting less for the same amount of money as well. So the two of those combined means that we're getting less product for more money. And what this means, well, it affects us as consumers. We all buy things on a weekly basis, monthly basis, essentials. We all require things to food to eat and clothes to wear and shoes on our feet and stuff like that. So know that every paycheck, more of your paycheck is going towards essentials. And if you feel the effects of that, you know that you don't have as much left over to put into investments or creating your wealth. Why is that important? Well, it's important because just know that inflation goes up and down. But what's the likelihood of prices going up and down like at the gas station? You know that gas prices go up and gas prices go down, but when you go to Chipotle, you don't really expect to go in one day paying $6 for a chicken bowl, the next day $10 for a chicken bowl, and suddenly inflation goes down again and Chipotle says, oh yeah, it's only going to cost you $6 now. No, once prices go up in some areas, it's much harder for them to come down. It's not going to happen. People get used to those higher prices, and companies are like, oh yeah, well, if inflation has gone down, then it's just more money in our pockets, right? And I would say that most companies operate that way, because if somebody just handed you more money for a service that you did, would you bring your prices down? You say, no, I'm worth that amount of money now. And that's the amount you would accept for your service. And it's the same with every other company out there. It's not like they're trying to scheme more money out of you. It's just that their service has a value to it, and it's a price you're willing to pay for that particular service. So that's why it is important. How can you leverage inflation? Well, it is one of those tricky things that may require a little bit more research, but just know that prices have gone up, which means that if you are in possession of a product that people want, they are going to pay more for it. Also affects you because if you are one of those people who likes to save cash, inflation means that your cash is worth less because you can buy less with it, right? So if things cost more, if you have $100 in your pocket, your Chipotle bowl used to cost $6 and now it costs $10, you only have $90 left versus $94 left before inflation. So that's how it affects you. Now, what do I think about the future? I think the future is completely unpredictable, especially with all that is going on that is just unprecedented, like coronavirus. These are situations that we have never seen before. There are certain criteria that people say, oh, it's just like the 2008 crash. Everything's going to go crashing soon. And there's really no way for them to know that. Honestly, you can be educated and say that the factors are the same. You can be educated and say that the factors are not the same. I like to make financial smart financial choices for me no matter the time frame. You can make smart financial choices in good economic times. You can make smart financial choices in poor economic times. And if you're committed to doing that, for making good choices now that get you to a better future, then you are well on your way to becoming financially successful, even if you have no clue what is going on in the world today. I just pulled into the driveway, so I'm going to get off of here. It's been fun hanging with you. Thanks for bearing with my hot mess today. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow with a better video. I'll see you later. Bye.